Well, it's Friday the 16th of October. If you are a regular listener to the show, please consider supporting it at support.thejmo.net. This is episode 2041 of 301 Permanently Moved Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited by me at the JMO. As we move towards the inevitable second lockdown here in the UK, I'd like to make a proposal. For lockdown redux, consider giving up soap, shampoo, and deodorant. The first numbered post on my blog is from way back in July of 2012, 001, Soapless. I gave up washing with soap and using shampoo on January the 1st, 2010. I'm not going to try and convince you. Read Ed Yong's I Contain Multitudes if you're interested. Instead, I'm just asking you to consider it. I was convinced by a paleo blog called Free the Animal with a post title, I don't care, I like no soap, no shampoo, back in 2009. Written about 6 months after the author had given up soap. I haven't used soap or shampoo any place on my body for 6 months, save for hand washing in advance of food prep. That's it. Let me just report my observations and leave you to judge. They then go on to say that their hair was greasy and skin oily for 2 weeks and then it cleared up. Their skin and hair now had never been softer and that their hair was less greasy than ever. I'm soap free for life at this point. I feel as though I've been scammed and liberated. I can't explain further. You'll just have to try it. It was December, the perfect time for New Year's resolutions. Lockdown 2 is coming, the perfect time for maybe you too. Back in 2012, I reported, the first week was the worst. My hair was greasy by lunchtime, but I resisted the urge to shower a second time in the evening and powered through. By the end of the second week, things had started to settle in a bit and my head was less of a disaster area. I still remember being paranoid in the initial weeks, thinking my colleagues thought me a grimy grebo. In case you were wondering, my hair at the time was about chin length, 9 to 10 inches, not exactly short, but I checked in with the person I sat next to and they hadn't noticed at all. After a month, my hair was softer and shinier than ever before. Giving up deodorant was similar. I've used rock salt crystal now for about 8 years. I think I'm on my third stick that I've bought. I use the brand Pit Rock here in the UK. You apply it on slightly damp skin right after you shower or bathe. There is an increase in body odour initially. I can imagine it would be worse if you used antiperspirant. The bacteria that salt crystal deodorant kills means it leaves others on your skin, obviously, and the ones that remain smell slightly of crayon. If you don't use soap or deodorant on your body, you develop a more complex relationship with the way that you smell. I don't smell bad, I just smell of me, or crayons, as Eve likes to tell me. I was speaking to someone over the summer that has gone soapless too, and they said that they detect a slight crayon smell using the same deodorant. There's not enough time in the episode to talk about class, consumerism, and the toxic ideology of the health and beauty industry, but stigmatization of body odor began as an advertising strategy in the 1920s to sell soap. A century later, we still live in fear of anyone detecting the slightest hint of BO on us. It is truly wild to me that we live in a society convinced to purge the body of all odour, to scrub it clean and obliterate the complex cultures of the microbiology we co-evolved with. Scrubbing them off, along with the natural oils on which they feed, is not, in fact, a good idea. When people say BO, I think of that sharp gym shirt left in a bag smell, or a gorilla enclosure at a zoo. I certainly don't think of people's scents. I want to share an anecdote. I used to work with lots of folks from India, working in our office as part of a contract with Dell. Occasionally, after work, a colleague would shock me, usually a white one, but not exclusively, and complain that our colleagues smelt of curry. I'd say that they were racist, with a healthy dose of toxic indoctrination from advertising to boot. But mostly racist. It's a fact that people in modern Western society who turn their nose up at body odours are more likely to have authoritarian right-wing attitudes. Now here's the thing. If you know exactly what you smell like, then you become more aware of what others smell like too. Standing on a packed tube, you can tell that the person next to you eats a lot of meat. Or other people smell of milk. I don't mean like rancid milk, more like when you pull the top of a milk bottle you opened 2 days ago. Not fresh, not off, just milky. As for me, I'll know if I've eaten garlic or spices the day before. A faint hint when the air gets pushed out of your shirt collar when you move your body. Sometimes, if I drink a lot of coffee, I'll detect that too. I even know when I'm stressed or depressed, as I smell different. There's plenty of testimonials online. Go check them out if you want. They may or may not work for you. I like it. It changed my life for the better. But it does connect you back to your body in a way that I think is important. In the abstracted hell world of 2020, it is more important than ever that we reconnect with our bodies. And I can think of no better way to make a start than opting out of this part of our culture created by advertising 100 years ago. consider going soapless.